Zachary Latham should be found not guilty. He claims that he stabbed his neighbor.
They were going to stop at nothing to get at him.
The future of a young man is in jeopardy inside the revered corridors of justice. Zachary Latham, whose name will go down in history, is accused of a horrible crime that has shocked his entire neighborhood and probably everyone who comes to know of it. Stick with us till the end of this video as we describe the murder trial of Zachary Latham. Zachary Latham and his neighbor had a conversation in which he referred to her as Karen, which started the chain of circumstances that led to this astounding series of incidents. Nobody realized at the time that this one remark would set off a chain reaction of fights that would last for several weeks. Latham used social media to fan the fires of the argument by posting recordings of altercations with the woman's relatives and bringing attention to the unrest in their neighborhood. The scenario exploded into a brief but violent melee as emotions reached a breaking point, sadly taking the woman's husband's life and forever affecting the lives of all involved. Following this tragic event, the bereaved family's legal counsel claimed that Latham's actions were motivated by a nefarious desire for social media celebrity, alleging that he callously took a life for the purpose of publicity on the digital stage. A disagreement between a young person using TikTok to his advantage and his enraged neighbors who had grown tired of his incessantly loud car and reckless driving habits brought a long brewing dispute in this small town to a deadly head. Unfortunately, Zachary Latham, the TikTok sensation at the center of the controversy, fatally stabbed William T. Durham Sr. in the ensuing chaotic confrontation. Court TV appropriately dubbed the riveting trial the Nasty Neighbor Stabbing Trial, capturing viewers who tuned in to see the court processes unfold in real time. The trial attracted a lot of media coverage. The courtroom, however, was mostly devoid of the intricate details of the social media drama that had exacerbated the hostility between Latham and his neighbors. Due to the judge's decision, the Cumberland County jury was unable to properly explore the complex exchanges that had taken place before the crucial day of the killing. And as a result, Latham was ultimately found not guilty after only a few hours of deliberation. Astute legal analysts who have been closely following the case have highlighted that the majority of the events that took place during the course of this terrifying occurrence on Zachary Latham's front yard and inside his garage, supporting his claims of self-defense. These spectators are wondering why Latham was first exposed to criminal charges, given the spatial context of the confrontation, which has prompted them to ask crucial concerns. These legal experts, who are knowledgeable in the nuances of criminal law, have emphasized the relevance of the altercation occurring on Latham's own land. They contend that the location of the conflict may help Latham's defense since it may be seen as an area where he had a right to defend himself against potential threats. Focusing on the idea of self-defense, these astute observers question the necessity and propriety of filing criminal charges against Latham in the first place, given the incident setting complicates the determination of guilt. Bob Bianchi, a former Morris County top prosecutor who is now in private practice, stated that we would never have brought this case as homicide prosecutors. It's got self-defense written all over it. Cumberland County prosecutor Jennifer Webb McRae declined to speak in a brief interview following the verdict. "We are disappointed, but respect the will of the jury," she said. The exclusion of the social media drama and the evidence demonstrating Zachary Latham's alleged misconduct can be explained by a thorough understanding of legal procedures and their guiding principles. These rules were created to protect defendants who, despite possibly engaging in objectionable behavior unrelated to the charged crime, still deserve protection and a level playing field within the legal system. These regulations, painstakingly crafted by legal professionals, are intended to maintain the fundamental principles of justice and guarantee that people accused of crimes are not unfairly or unjustly assessed based on irrelevant characteristics of their character or conduct. The court attempts to prevent the jury from being swayed by extraneous circumstances that could unreasonably affect their impression of the defendant by restricting the presentation of evidence relevant to Latham's social media habits and other alleged acts of wrongdoing. While some people might feel that the exclusion of such evidence restricts the trial's options, It's important to remember that these court regulations exist to protect defendants' constitutional rights and promote a fair and unbiased legal system. By abiding by these rules, the court hopes to prevent defendants from being unfairly burdened by the weight of unrelated controversies or public opinion, and to ensure that they are only held accountable for the precise charges made against them. Legal experts agree that in this particular case, the court's decision to exclude the social media drama and evidence of Latham's alleged inappropriate behavior demonstrates its dedication to upholding fairness principles and preventing defendants from being unfairly treated based on conduct or perceptions unrelated to the crime they are accused of committing. You should be convicted based on what you did, not whether you were a bad person or had the propensity to commit an act, said Larry Lustberg, an attorney at Gibbons PC and expert on New Jersey criminal procedure. According to Lustberg, courts must generally tread a fine line between providing jurors with as much information as possible regarding the circumstances of a crime and withholding material that would skew their assessment of the legal issues. After only a few weeks of turning 18, Latham was charged with second-degree reckless manslaughter for stabbing Durham, 51, in 2020. The problem started weeks earlier when Latham was driving down the suburban street in Vineland where they both resided, and Catherine Durham, the victim's wife, motioned for him to slow down. On his phone, Latham captured the conversation on film, which he then uploaded to his TikTok account with the name Karen, a slang term for a lady who is thought to be entitled. On TikTok, there is a whole ecosystem of these neighborhood fights, where formerly private minor grievances may be used as the basis for brief but viral fame. Millions of people watched Latham's video, which was a success. "Hey Karen!" he later yelled at the woman according to court records. "We went viral!" According to court documents, the Durhams and other neighbors routinely contacted the police to report Latham. The Durhams claimed Latham moved his car menacingly toward their 17-year-old son while the kid was riding his bike on May 4th, 2020, and the argument became deadly. After some time had passed, the Durhams confronted Latham and followed him to his home, where a vicious fight was caught on camera. The two unarmed sons of William Durham, a correctional officer, and Latham approached them. Latham then equipped himself with a knife and a stun gun and repeatedly ordered the other guys to leave. As a result of the altercation, Latham stabbed Durham. He later died from his wounds. And sure, a video of the brawl made it to TikTok, where it is still posted, taken down, and then reposted today. 3 males walking into the garage is going to be a significant problem, according to my assessment of the case as a prosecutor. The defendant doesn't have a duty to retreat in this circumstance, according to Bianchi. Latham was not a sympathetic character because of his impulsive behavior outside of the case, according to Bianchi. But courts will only accept evidence of such behavior if the prosecution can demonstrate that it clearly relates to the defendant's mindset or motivation. Even after objecting to the exclusion of evidence that would show that the Durham family was terrorized for 6 weeks. Meanwhile, Latham's legal troubles are not over. He faces separate charges in Florida, where he is accused of assaulting someone and brandishing a pellet gun resembling an AK-47 rifle. Those charges, however, are still pending, and there you have it. What are your opinions on this case? Feel free to let us know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click on the tiny bell icon on the side to stay notified and updated on all of our upcoming content.